shall I say? And when we dance by, give your plan.
My friends and I decided to go trick-or-treating this year. We were teenagers that wanted some candy and to tiki houses. We lived in a massive neighborhood, so there was a lot to go around. After 2 hours of going around the streets, egging and tikiing houses and a very lucky escape from the police, we were ready to end the night. We all stopped at a dark street. Should we go? One of my friends asked. Okay, one more street, another friend replied. I stared down the dark street, unable to see the end. There was something odd about this street, like it didn't belong. The houses were completely different from the ones in the neighborhood. The houses looked abandoned and there were no lights either in the street or the houses. I got a bad feeling about this, guys. I said. Don't be a pussy, David, we're just gonna egg some houses and leave. If they do call the cops again, we'll sneak out of here. This place is freaking pitch black, my friend replied. We walked down the cold black street, joking around and telling ghost stories as I just couldn't help feeling watched. Houses looked very different and didn't look stable. I knew something was up, I just knew it. The light from the other street began to become dimmer and dimmer. Okay, here. We took a bag full of eggs and toilet paper. We were cursing and having fun, I almost forgot to be worried. Crack! A loud noise echoed in the street. What was that? I asked. Everybody, hide now! My friend yelled. I saw all my friends scramble around the block. I hid behind a rusty trash can, looking over the edge. I couldn't see anything because it was so dark. I only could see a blue outline of the houses. I took out my phone for some light. No signal at all on my cell phone. Didn't they build over a dozen cell phone towers all over the area? I shined my light towards the street. Crack! This time it was even louder. I pulled back and looked over again. All of my friends were there, standing in the middle of the street. So what do you think that was? I questioned, walking towards them. They didn't respond. Hello? There's something about your soul I cannot take, but I'll find a way. They all said at the same time. What the fuck? They all charged towards me. I ran and ran. The darkness seemed to continue on forever. I didn't hear them chasing after me, but I didn't stop. I kept looking for a source of light, or just anybody. I slammed my face into a wall. I got up to see a giant skyscraper outlined in blue and a plenty full of them. It was a city without light. I stood there, completely shocked. A lot of questions flew into my mind. What just happened? Where am I? Can I get back? These questions flooded my mind. A loud growl roared behind me. I turned around to see wolf-like creatures blended in the darkness. Shit! I whispered to myself. I stood there, looking straight at the creature. I regret my decision after that. I ran as fast as I could, hearing the creature's paws hitting the concrete. I stopped at an alley. I think I'm okay, I said to myself. You're far from okay, a similar voice responded. I turned around to see an army of people standing. I tried to run, but another group blocked the other side of the alley. A tall man stood in front. He was dressed in black and was wearing a hoodie that blocked his face. What do you want from me? I yelled. I want your soul, like I did with all your little friends here. I use this realm to capture as many souls as I want. You bastard! I yelled back. You're different, your soul is special and very hard to get, and what makes it harder that you're protected, but no soul is strong enough to keep me out. Get ready to become my puppet. Then they closed in on me. I felt like this was the end and that I was going to be made his puppet and I couldn't do anything about it. A stereotypical light shone down on me. Not him again, the tall man said. I woke up in my bed with my bag of candy and leftover eggs from last night. I looked at my digital clock and it read 7 o'clock a.m., November 1st, 2011. I laid there for a while and wondered if it was all a dream. Whatever happened, I'm safe now. I got up to get ready for school and saw a sticky note on my door saying, "I haven't forgotten about you yet." It's hard to believe a year has passed since the incident. I lay there on my bed, trying to rid the memories of that unfortunate night. But no matter how hard I try, I can't repress the events of that night. Halloween again, I said quietly to myself. I got up from my bed and headed towards the kitchen. Today, I wasn't going to school due to the special circumstances. I ate my breakfast and made no conversation with my family. My family just glared at me the whole time. So today is a nice day. Perfect weather, my mom said. I just looked at her and left the kitchen. I went back to my room and sat there at my desk, staring at the clock. Silence. I miss my friends and not a day goes by that I haven't thought about them. The police never found a trace of them after that night, and obviously they didn't believe a single word I said. Typical cops, I thought in my head. I kept the sticky note I received after that night in a box in my closet. Should I? I questioned myself. I went to my closet, grabbed the box and placed it on my desk. All right, it's time, I said to myself. I opened the box to find the sticky note was no longer there. No, this can't be right. I started to panic. I searched my room from top to bottom to find the note, but no luck. Running out of options, I stormed out of my room and went back to the kitchen. Where is the note? I demanded. What note? My mom replied. The note that was in this fucking box. I yelled with rage. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't know about any note, my sister said. Lies, I yelled back. Calm down, David, my older brother said. God damn it, I yelled in frustration. I stormed out the living room and headed into the garage. I grabbed my bike and set off into the street. I don't know what I accomplished doing this, but I needed to leave. I pedaled my way down the streets and the traffic until I reached the cemetery. I left my bike on the grass and walked down the numerous rows of graves. I reached my friend's graves. Who did this? I whispered. I stood there in silence and dread, remembering all the good times of my fallen friends. A tear rolled down my cheek. It's scary how life can take the things/people you love from you in the matter of seconds. My friends aren't dead, they're trapped by that monster. I spent a whole year living in fear. I done everything I can to keep him away. Rituals, sacrifices, spells, everything. I hope this is over and I could live on with my life. I was about to leave until I noticed something on one of the gravestones. It was a sticky note. I leaned down and took the note and it said, I haven't forgotten about you. I froze. How did the sticky note get here? Unless I dropped the note and began sprinting towards my bike. Before I reached my bike, a black tall figure appeared in front of me. What's the hurry? We're just getting started, he said. Everything faded to black. I woke up tied up to a chair in a large concrete chamber with only a light from the ceiling and a metal door. The metal door opened and the hooded man walked in. Told you I haven't forgotten about you, the hooded man remarked. I felt too weak to talk. All my energy has been sucked out of me. I just glared at him. Your protection is gone. I'm going to have fun with you tonight. Let's begin, shall we? He said. He brought in a cart filled with various torture devices. He took out a sharp knife and jammed it into my chest cavity. I yelled at the top of my lungs as the blood gushed out my body. Shut up, he said aggressively as he grabbed my tongue and cut it off with his knife. I felt the blood gushing out of my mouth. I tried to get away until he ripped open my torso and violently stabbed my organs. Do you know how much trouble you caused me? How a simple human escaped from grasp. He raged as he began tearing apart my organs. He grabbed my intestines and started choking me with it. I gasped for air. Everything started to fade out. He let go of me and walked to the cart. He grabbed a dull hacksaw from the cart and began cutting off my limbs. I felt the hacksaw rip through my muscle. The pain was nothing I have ever felt before. I kept yelling and resisting. Hopefully someone or something will save me, but I guess my luck has run out. The hooded man grabbed my arm and tore it out of my body. I can't take it anymore. I shut my eyes. I woke up back on the chair. My body was restored to normal. I heard a laugh from the dark corner. We're just getting started. The hooded man smirked. The metal door opened and I saw my family walk in the room. They had no expression on their faces. No. I said, disbelief. This can't be. You should have seen the look in their eyes. He laughed. My family gone. My worst fears became a reality. Every nightmare, fear, and doubt the past year I lived in mortal terror for my life and my family. Wondering when he'll strike, ended up happening anyway. My fate was doomed from the start. He tortured me for hours on end, not sparing any tool or method. I could do nothing but sit there. After a couple of hours, he stopped and said, "Now it's time for you to become my puppet, you pest." He stuck his whole hand into my chest. I felt the very being of me being torn out of me, my very soul tearing into shreds. No, I'm not giving up. I began fighting back with all my might. He's not taking me. What? No. This can't be. It's impossible. He said in shock as I tore his soul out of his body. I control him now. I felt the power of thousands of souls coursing through my veins. I could now liberate all the souls of the innocent people that fallen victim to the hooded man or become stronger. It is Halloween night and I made my decision. Time to collect souls. I don't know about you, but I always liked instant cameras. They had this form of memorabilia that no other form of media had. Well, I decided to buy myself a Polaroid impulse camera. At the time, I truly thought it was a nice investment, although the film was expensive. Nowadays, a company named Impossible Project creates film for this type of cameras and is also a guarantee that it works. Of course, on eBay, the more antique, expired films are also up for sale, but at extremely high prices. With the extra money I had from work and allowance, I was able to buy an Impossible Project and an expired twin pack for a fairly good price. To tell you the truth, I now regret buying the expired film. The Impossible film worked perfectly, so perfectly that I was able to go through a whole pack within a month. At this point, I had to start on the first pack of the expired film. On my mom's day off work, I decided to take the first photo of my mom. At this point, there were no signs of color fading, smearing, or other defects of any kind. Just as a precaution, I put the film inside the box, where it contained the other pack, then I went outside. Around the time I came home, it was dusk, and a perfect temperature to take out the film. What I saw nearly dropped me on the floor. It was my mother in the most gruesome image I have ever seen. Her face was torn apart. She was grabbing the skin of her face in her left hand. Her legs were abused and showing hints of bone here and there. Her shirt ripped apart and showing organs that seemed to be falling to the floor and hanging freely. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't understand how a simple photo of my mom smiling innocently distorted into this. These weren't any positions the original, developing film was turning into. I started sobbing and cut the photo in half. My mom never asked what happened to the photo, even when she did see me crying, and I don't plan on telling her anything. I have 9 more films in the pack, 19 in total. I have not taken a picture ever since. I don't plan to, and surely not to buy any more expired film online anymore.